Hey guys, good morning. I wanted to jump on and go over our new standards for this week. This is one of two standards for the week. I'm going to do this one on the first video, and then there'll be a second video for the second standard. This standard says that you understand that positive and negative numbers are used together to describe quantities having opposite directions or values. For example, temperature above and below zero, elevation above and below sea level. Use positive and negative numbers to represent quantities in real-world context, explaining the meaning of zero in each situation. So that's a lot of words. What does it really mean that you can do? Basically, the learning target here is that I understand the value of positive, and negative numbers in context. Okay, so for example, for the anchor chart, I have a thermometer here. The thermometer is reading at negative 10 degrees Celsius. So basically all that means is that if you hear the word negative 10, you know that it is 10 degrees or 10 units of measurement away from zero in the opposite direction of how we would. So instead of it being a positive 10 degrees, it's the opposite of that. It's a negative 10 degrees. So instead of moving to the right on the number line, a negative 10 is just simply going to move to the left on a number line. It is exactly the opposite of 10. It is 10 units away from zero in the opposite direction, or 10 less than zero. So if it asks you to explain the relation of the negative 10 to the zero, that sounds way more complicated than it actually is. It's just that you understand it's 10 whole numbers away from zero, but in the direction on a number line that goes to the left instead of to the right, if that makes sense, or exactly the opposite of a positive 10. So actually, if you were to think about a negative 10 and a positive 10, those are really 20 units apart. So negative 10 to zero, that's going to be 10 numbers, and then 0 to positive 10 is going to be 10 more numbers. So you would have to go 20 units to get from negative 10 to its opposite at positive 10. Another topic that I want to touch on while we're talking about this is absolute value. The definition of absolute value is the magnitude of a number without regards to its sign. So when I think about absolute value, I think about that absolute value equals the distance from zero on a number line. So for example, this is how you notate absolute value with these two little lines outside of a number. The absolute value of negative 3 and the absolute value of 3 is the same thing. They are both 3 units away from zero. So on a number line, if I was to plot negative 3, that is 1, 2, 3 units from zero. And if I was to plot positive 3, that is also 1, 2, 3 units from zero. So I believe in your task cards today, you're going to find a question about absolute value. Basically, this is all you need to understand, that absolute value tells you the distance from zero. So negative 3 is exactly the same number of units away from zero as a positive 3. Let me know what questions you have.